Hey everyone, this is Dan. Welcome to a new video. Today we are going to look at what I would call usable fast licks that we can pull out of the bag at any given point. Now I've taught many licks on videos on YouTube, a lot of them being these fast sequences. For example, we might have a 12-note sequence that we play fast. I might have taught it, you might have a backing track that you've practiced it over to no end, you've got it down perfectly. And then you go to a live situation, you're playing some blues, you're playing over different beats and different tempo, and now you want to fit this 12-note sequence in that you've practiced so hard, and then it just doesn't work. You can't think of how to, how fast to play it, where to fit these triplets in and such. It's not something you can just pull out the bag at any given point, because a lot of these phrases are ones that you'd want to kind of plan for solos that you're coming up with. But what I'm going to talk about today, you can just pull out of the bag at any given point. Okay, so we're in the key of D, so like D blues. Okay, you know the score. So let's take a bass lick. We have this. Let's play it again, slower. So that will be our bass lick. Now, what is that? Basically, we're going to bar the first finger over the 10th fret of the B and high E. Okay. I use an upstroke on the 10th fret of the high E, hammer on from nowhere to the 13th fret. This is because it's an easiest way to play it fast is by hammering on from nowhere. So 13th fret and then pull off to the 10th fret. Okay, now we have Chuck Berry time. So we're going to bend the 12th fret up a full tone, and then cut it off at the top, and then we'll go, and that'll be a downstroke by the way, and then I use another downstroke for the 10th fret of the B, and then 10th fret of the high E and upstroke, okay? Down, down, up. So up, hammer on from nowhere, pull off, down, down, up. Those are the sequence of picking strokes that I use. Now, if we repeat this phrase, the first note that we played, sorry, the last note that we played becomes the first note of the next repetition. So it'll sound like this. Okay, you really want to practice that, just over and over. Go over and over that, try and get it stuck in your muscle memory. Okay, that phrase, the bass phrase, and then we can now expand upon that. So the first expansion that we can use here would be, for example, to hammer on to the 13th fret and pull off on the high E on the top, on the end of the lick, okay? Just like so. So hammer on 13th, pull off to 10th at the end. And then we can go from there, hammer on from nowhere again, because that last note after the pull off will become the first note of the next phrase, okay? So it'll be, and then, okay? So that's the first way we can expand. Pretty simple, right? You might want to practice that over and over again just to get used to using expansion. Okay, now instead of using that high 13th fret, let's change it for the 12th fret. Okay. You can even use both. That sort of thing. Again, already we have at least 3 ways where we've expanded upon this phrase. So just take that and try and practice different ways of expanding upon it. Now let's look at another bass lick that we can use. It's very similar to the first one. Sounds like this. Okay, it's 7 notes. Played fast. So again, barring the first finger on the high E and B over the 10th fret. Upstroke on the 10th fret of the high E. Hammer on from nowhere to 13th fret of the B. Pull off the 10. Okay, and then we just play the 12th fret after that. And then we start with a upstroke, I believe, is it? Yeah, upstroke on the 10th fret of the B, hammer on to 13th, pull back off to 10th. Okay, that's all the lick is. Repeat that over and over. Try and get it stuck into your muscle memory. Just go over and over and over. Okay, that again is the bass lick. And now again we can add on, let's try and add on this on the top, okay? So at the end we'll add that on, or basically, so it'll sound like this now. Okay? Again, you can swap that for the 12th fret note. Again, that's two more ways that we can expand that phrase. And you can see how these phrases come together, so we can just play them on their own as the starting phrase, and then add in the other notes. A lot of the time, it doesn't really matter if these perfectly fit into the timing or not. You can kind of just use like a flurry of notes is what I would call this, and then try to come out of the phrases into a bluesy like ending lick in time. Here's another thing that we can do as well. This double picking thing that I think I got this from Paul Gilbert ages ago. But basically, we'll take one note on the high E here. So we'll downstroke on the 13th fret, and immediately upstroke on the 10th fret, and then quickly hammer on pull off to the 12th, and then back to the 10th. Okay, so it'll sound like this. Okay, down, up, hammer on, pull off. Okay. So we can have this now. That sort of thing anyway, you can add that in. You can even use 12 to 11 to 10, okay? So you can go, so 12, and then 10, hammer on to 11, pull off. That sort of things. These are just ways that you can kind of expand upon these licks. So you can see how easy it is to go from this to that sort of thing, right? And you can just take these, and you know, they're all in the same area, okay? You don't have to move your hand up and down or anything. You can use so many different notes. You can even do this, like this sort of thing. You see what I'm doing? Just hammering on twice a couple of times in certain areas. You know, that sort of thing. You can even do this. Start repeating things like this within the lick, okay? Okay? You can see how this goes on and on and on. It's just like endless, really. The amount of different things that you can do with it. Again, you can even use this maybe. Let's have a look. Okay? Using that hammer on pull off, which is the 13 to 12. Hammer on and pull off on the B. That sort of thing. If, occasionally do this. You know, use that blues note. You can just see how it goes on and on and on. And this is why I love doing this sort of thing. You can just come up with it all on the spot. And if I can give you one, you know, tip for playing fast things that you want to put up the bag live, this whole concept is what I would love to give to you. Okay. Like for now, just forget all these sequences that you know you've learned. These shred sequences, picking over two different strings, going up and down, you know, diatonically and such. For this sort of thing, pulling it out of the bag on any given moment, this is the main thing I think you should really try to learn, at least take from this today, is you want things that you can just, hopefully you can take this and have some fun with it, because it is fun. That's what I love about it. These things are fun because it's endless and easy once you get the hang of it. So if you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up, a like, and I'll see you soon.